Yes, finally, the OnePath network released the podcast. The pressure worked. Well done, Love Speech. The pressure worked, and they even titled it, "We Released the SNEAKO Podcast." But first, they literally clickbaited it like they released the Epstein files. Finally, it's up from weeks ago. This was in Australia. I got banned, and I was annoyed because when I was getting all the pressure from the media and the government, they revoked my visa. Like, these podcasts could have corrected the record at the time. But shout out to OnePath Network for finally releasing it. I had to, bro, it was a lot of back and forth. But there's one more podcast that needs to be released from the Safi Bros. Hopefully they follow suit. I want to see I
look back on my life when I was with the Prime Minister of Malaysia. I really started making Call of Duty videos in my mom's basement, and here I am with world leaders. The amount of people that have switched on me because I became Muslim, that's really the only reason. If I was still promoting the things that other content creators and streamers were promoting, then you wouldn't see the sort of vile hatred.
You had that departure from the manosphere.
People who want to live forever, people who want to spread their will across the world and be remembered and be the #1 alpha. Islam destroys all of this. I worry, and I think everyone should think about this stuff. Imagine dying like that. Imagine going to meet Allah, your creator, and you are at a party and you have to explain why you were there.
To sit down with Kanye West, what was that like?
The way that
anti-Semitism question.
You know, the things they accuse me of, oh, you're hateful or you're anti-Semitic or whatever this.
The word anti-Semitic has no real meaning anymore. In fact, it's synonymous with truth.
But if you listen to what I'm saying and what I believe in, that's not the case.
Assalamu alaikum. Before we begin, some context for this podcast. A lot of people are asking, where is the podcast?
Let's go. Do I recognize anyone? Where's the podcast? Is this you guys?
And we saw your comments. But like all of our podcasts, we never release them immediately. They go through a series of checks and balances. And given that this podcast was with someone that some people consider controversial, this podcast was no different. But we don't invite people onto the platform because we agree with everything they've ever said or done. And having someone on the platform should never be understood as a blanket endorsement of all their views and actions. But as a Muslim organization, we still have
They had to do more of a PSA than the Nelk Boys did with Netanyahu. Isn't that crazy?
Higher duty to be clear about our own principles. And as Muslims, we reject all forms of hate speech based on race, ethnicity, or religion, including anti-Semitism and any language that mocks or trivializes the suffering of any community from past tragedies. Yet at the same time, we vehemently reject attempts to conflate anti-Semitism with anti-Zionism.
Perfect segue. This is what Spencer wants to talk about.
Or those seeking to exploit the weight of anti-Semitism as a moral cover for a criminal state committing genocide today. And we also believe that people should be given the space to speak about their journey, their growth, their mistakes, and what they've learned along the way. And that is the spirit in which this conversation was recorded. So, without further ado, we're releasing the SNEAKO.
Good intro. They navigated the legal system in Australia while also standing firm on their belief system. OnePath Network.